Cek, cek. Ladies and gentlemen, we will start in 5 minutes.
To our dear audiences, please fill in the empty seats. Please fill in the empty seats.
Okay, good morning distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the plenary session of the Suhadi Reksowardoyo International Seminar on Chemical Process Engineering STKSR 2025.
Okay, good morning everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. How are you everyone?
Hi, how are you? I'm good. How about you?
I hope everyone is as good as Fredly is today, and I hope everyone is as excited as we are here today as well. Once again, it is a huge pleasure to welcome you all in the first plenary session.
Yeah, and for starters, let us get familiar. My name is Fredly.
And my name is Sharifa.
And we will be guiding today's plenary session for you.
But before we proceed with our agenda, as you can see here with our banners, we would like to acknowledge the huge support of our sponsors who have supported us in the fruition of this event. Our sponsors include PT Kilang Pertamina Internasional,
Soltec,
PT Zeus Kimia Tama Indonesia or Zekindo Chemicals,
and PT Bukit Asam. We extend our deepest gratitude to all our sponsors for their valuable support.
Yes, and next up, for the sake of everyone's safety and also everyone's comfort in this East Hall building and institution, a safety induction will be conducted right up. So,
Yeah, to our dear audience, please do pay sincere attention to the following safety induction video.
Safety induction, keamanan, kesehatan, keselamatan kerja dan lingkungan di ITB. ITB berkomitmen untuk mencapai kinerja terbaik di bidang keamanan, kesehatan, keselamatan kerja dan lingkungan yang mencakup aset sumber daya manusia, bangunan, peralatan, dan kekayaan intelektual. Oleh karena itu, ITB mengharapkan kesadaran setiap individu yang berada di area ITB untuk turut berperan dalam mewujudkan kondisi keamanan, kesehatan, keselamatan kerja dan lingkungan yang kondusif dengan memenuhi pedoman keamanan dan K3 yang berlaku di lingkungan kampus ITB sebagai berikut. Setiap individu diminta untuk meluangkan waktu memahami lokasi kegiatan dengan melihat peta lokasi yang memuat jalur evakuasi, lokasi pintu darurat, tempat berkumpul darurat, tanda kedaruratan, lokasi pemadam api ringan, dan kotak P3K. Terdapat pintu darurat dan assembly point atau tempat berkumpul yang aman di setiap gedung. Jika diperlukan evakuasi, panitia pendamping atau satpam akan memandu. Setiap individu wajib turut menjaga kebersihan gedung dan area dalam ITB, serta membuang sampah pada tempat sampah yang telah disediakan. Setiap individu diimbau untuk tidak meninggalkan barang tanpa pengawasan karena alasan keamanan. Tidak diperkenankan merokok di dalam gedung dan di kawasan kampus ITB, kecuali di area merokok. Harap dipahami bahwa keberlangsungan kegiatan dan acara adalah di luar dari pelatihan keadaan darurat. Jika alarm tanda bahaya terdengar, maka nyata terjadi kondisi darurat. Jika terjadi kondisi darurat atau menemui benda atau orang mencurigakan, kecelakaan, atau kondisi tidak aman lainnya, silakan menghubungi petugas keamanan terdekat atau nomor darurat ITB di 022 250 02 04 untuk area ITB Ganesha dan 022 860 10 020 untuk area ITB Jatinangor. Demikian pedoman ini kami sampaikan. Terima kasih atas kerjasama dan perhatian Anda. Utamakan keamanan, kesehatan, keselamatan kerja, dan lingkungan.
Okay, so now that I hope that everyone has a sufficient comprehension of our do's and don'ts along with standard emergency pathways, I hope everyone knows where the door is after this video. So we will now sing the national anthem of Indonesia.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you all to rise for our national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Thank you everyone, please be seated again.
Okay, I hope everyone's warmed up by now. So next up, this seminar is honored to invite Professor Dea Indriani Astuti, SSE, as the Vice Chancellor of Human Resources at Bandung Institute of Technology. So we invite Professor Dea to give her one-of-a-kind symbolic opening along with some wise words of remarks to open the day. So ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to give a round of applause for Professor Dea.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, esteemed keynote speakers, invited speakers, presenters, distinguished guests, and participants. On behalf of our Rector of Institut Teknologi Bandung, I'm honored to welcome you all to the Suhadi Reksowardoyo International Seminar on Chemical, Food and Chemurgy Engineering 2025. Please allow me first to convey the Rector's warmest greeting and sincere regrets. Professor Tata Cipta Dirgantara, our Rector, is unable to be here in person today due to an official engagement in Papua. He has therefore entrusted me with the privilege of delivering his remarks to you on his behalf. First of all, we are especially delighted to extend our warmest greeting to our esteemed colleagues, Professor Takahiro from Nagasaki University, Professor Nurak from Thammasat University, Professor Khairunisa from University Technology Malaysia, Dr. Sri Penny Inten Cahyani, Chief of BKKPII, Dr. Aditya Farhan, President Director of IBC. Your presence enriched the seminar and strengthened our shared commitment to academic collaboration across borders. Since its inception in 1991, STKSR has served as a vital platform for knowledge exchange and innovation in the field of process engineering. This year's theme, Green Sustainable Energy, strengthening the role of process engineers in the global energy transition, could not be more timely. As the world faces the urgent challenge of climate change, the role of process engineers become increasingly critical, not only as problem solvers, but also as innovators and nation builders. From chemical and food engineering to bioenergy and chemurgy, we are witnessing how integrated process design can unlock the full potential of natural resources, especially here in Indonesia. With our rich reserve of biomass, geothermal, solar, and ocean energy, we have the opportunity and the responsibility to lead in sustainable transformation. Let this seminar be a space for meaningful and fruitful dialogue, collaboration, and inspiration. May it spark new ideas, foster partnership, and reaffirm our shared mission to build a greener and more resilient future. Thank you for being part of STKSR 2025. In diversity, we unite for a greener tomorrow. To end these remarks, I would give some pantun. The pantun is made by Professor Tirto, the Dean of Faculty Industrial Technology. First, I will say the pantun in English. They say it's for bioenergy. Sorry. To the lab, we go with a coconut in hand. They say it's for bioenergy quite grand. Process engineers don't just talk cleverly, they craft solution for sustainable chemurgy. Sekarang, ini kemudian ini dalam bahasa Indonesia, cakepnya lagi ya. Ke laboratorium riset bawa kelapa. Katanya mau bikin bioenergi. Insinyur proses tak cuma bicara, tapi berkarya demi kemurgi lestari. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Dea. Let's give another round of applause for Professor Dea. Okay, next we will also like another special person, Dr. Insinyur Sri Penny Inten Cahyani, MM IPM, as the chairman of the Chemical Engineering Chapter of the Institution of Engineers Indonesia, BKKPII, to deliver a valuable speech in regards to our event today. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to give a round of applause for Bu Inten.
The Honorable Dr. Eng Pramujo Widiatmoko, the chairman of this committee, the Honorable Prof. Sanggono, the Dr. Sibi, Ibu Dea, Ibu Prof. Dea, the Vice Rector of Institut Teknologi Bandung, Dr. Hari Devianto, the Chief of Aptekim, and also Ibu Prof. Gelang, the Deputy of the President Office, and all distinguished speakers and delegation of for the STKSR 2025. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. First of all, on behalf of BK Kimia PII, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to ITB Committee inviting BKKPII to convey the remarks on the valuable occasion today on Suhadi Rekso Warjoyo International Seminar STKSR 2025, which will be held today until tomorrow. The topic for the seminar, which is Circular Economy on Energy Sector, a Sustainable Approach to Energize Future Civilization, is one of the strategic national issue. Due to the Asta Cipta Presiden Prabowo, and this is also one of the national target to achieve 8% economic growth in the end of the year 2029. The energy sector become one of the essential sector with significant contribution in achieving that target. PII, next slide. PII, the Institute of Engineers Indonesia, has a significant role in the issue. PII was established by government based on Indonesian law number 11, years 2014, has significant role to manage a professional engineers to ensure the engineer has a sufficient technical capability and competency and improve continuously and also conduct the implementation of engineering tasks with code of conduct and ethic manners, also implement good governance principles. BK Kimia is one of 28 BK under PII. BK Kimia declare the motto as home for Indonesian chemical engineers. All the member chemical engineers will collaborate and grow together and contributing for a sustainable and growth industrial in Indonesia. With three levels of professional engineer, which is junior professional engineer, senior professional engineer, and fellow professional engineer, BK Kimia will support and contributing members in any activities representing from government area, industrial player, academic area, and also association of industry or communities. Focus on topic of STKSR International Seminar today, BK Kimia concerns on how chemical engineers do key role in circular economy on energy. Next slide. Chemical engineer has responsibility to create a value-added product from local natural resources. The ability on know-how chemical process engineering design will contribute to optimizing operation to deliver a competitive products in price and quality. Collaborating with technology license will expedite the process to meet the key milestone. This slide is one of the example of the circular economy areas in processing coal and palm oil become a various products with contributing a significant value added in energy sector and creating a new lines of diversification or downstream products. Coal and palm oil are two significant abundant natural resources in Indonesia. Big opportunity to process the two essential natural resources to downstream products for energy, food and chemical product, particularly for specialty chemicals. Downstream of coal by coal gasification to methanol will fulfill the domestic consumption for biodiesel program B40. Indonesia was imported methanol today for B35 as 1.8 million tons and increase become 2.3 million tons in year 2025 with implementation for B40. Methanol could be continuous process to dimethyl ester, DMA, which will be substitute for LPG. Value-added processing coal to methanol was significantly 5 until 9 times from coal price at the mine mouth. Side product of coal gasification was coal tar, which will be continuous process to coal tar pitch that many derivatives can produce by that, by significantly value added 14 until 18 times from coal price at the mine mouth of coal. Ladies and gentlemen, palm oil, both oil and biomass, all part of palm oil could be used and processing to the energy, food and chemical products. Government suggested to pay attention to utilize and produce chemical product and derivatives such as specialty chemical which has significant value added. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all one of the example of the key role of the chemical engineers in the energy sector. For example, the area, next slide. The area of chemical engineers starts with the plant design, process design, and adoption the proper and reliable technology to utilize an abundant local natural resources. Planning the requirement of human resources, skill, and know-how to attract the investor to finance the project. From design, construction, commissionings, operation, and maintenance, and optimizing the operation, recycle until the end of the process, is to meet multiplier effect of the economic. Ladies and gentlemen, so this is, we hope you are enjoy the seminar today, getting a fruitful discussion and meet the benefit for all of the participants. Thank you for your kind attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you so much to Bu Intan. It was so nice seeing you again after a memorable session in class. I hope you remembered us. Okay, but now we have the honor of inviting the main character of today, Dr. Eng Pramujo Widiatmoko, STMT, as the chairman of STKSR 2025. So to Pak Pram, will you please kindly step up on stage with us to inform us on the official event report? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'll welcome you to give a whole round of applause for Pak Pram.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi Indonesia, selamat pagi and good morning. We are honored to welcome distinguished keynote speakers, invited speakers, presenters, and all participants to the Suhadi Reksawardoyo International Seminar, STKSR 2025. Welcome to the East Hall of ITB. This is the memorial building in ITB. I think this is the first building built in ITB. We also honored to welcome Rector of Institut Teknologi Bandung, represented by Professor Dr. Dia Indriani, SSI, as Vice Rector for University Resources, and also Dean of Faculty of Industrial Technology, Professor Dr. Tirto Prakoso. Thank you for facilitating this event. And we warmly welcome family of late Professor Insinyur Suhadi Reksawardoyo, who we commemorate his significant contribution and achievement to this event. We have Professor Dr. Iman Kartolaksono Reksawardoyo, and other Pak Adi Pradono Hadinoto, and Dr. Bambang Pujuatmojo. Oh, maybe. after this event. Okay. We also extend our grateful thanks to our sponsor, PT Pertamina Persero, Soltec. We have the booth over there, and Zegindo, and also PT Bukit Asam. Also to our supporter, IATK ITB, represented by Pak Setio Yanus Sasongko, MT and team. Aptekim, represented by Dr. Hari Devianto and team. BKK PI and FMEO, Dr. Inten Sri Penny and teams. Kurita Foundation, represented by Professor Dr. Chandra Setiadi and team. Also our student chapter, Himatek ITB, please raise hand. No. HMTB ITB and also HMPG ITB. Thank you for your support. This enabled this event to be held today. And ultimately, we thank our co-chairman and all committee, both faculty members and students who are working hard to succeed this event. This year, the theme of STKSR is Circular Economy in Energy Sector, a sustainable approach to future civilization, which is in line with current trend of energy transition into new and renewable energy. We bring to surface topic of bioenergy and energy storage as keys to sustainable energy production. As a note, in 2025, there are 77 out of 118 countries recorded increase in the energy transition index. It means indicating recovery on energy transition momentum after pandemic. Top performer of energy transition show similar indications. The first, they have clear and stable policy signals. And the second, they do highly diversified clean energy mix. Third, they build modern infrastructure to secure and flexible energy structure. And the fourth, they have strong industrial strategy. And the last, there is a social trust on the renewable energy transition. Thus, five indicator is prominent, to be held if we want to transition to the energy renewable and new renewable. Further, the issue on life cycle of new and renewable energy technology start to become concerns, like battery waste processing. It is important to understand the whole process. Thus, we can develop a holistic approach in circular economy in energy sector, as mentioned by Bu Inten. The STKSR 2025 invite keynotes from academic, industry, and governments to give broadened overview on the sustainable energy transition, both on technical and policy aspects. There are 109 papers will be presented by presenters from 8 countries during these 2 days events. There are 35 institutions involved, including 9 papers from industries. But unfortunately, we just got short notification that one of our keynote speakers cannot join us today due to an urgent circumstance. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, with that extent, we hope that the STKSR 2025 is able to facilitate a collaboration between researchers, industries, and governments to support clean and sustainable energy transition worldwide. Please enjoy to explore the best of this event. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Pram, for the splendidly candid report.
Okay, next up, to freshen up a little bit, the activity in our next agenda will involve taking photos with a system of 4 batches, not reactor batches, of course, from the farther left to the farthest right. So we have the first and second column as the first batch, and then the middle columns as the second batch, and then the third batch will be the fourth column here, and then the last column will be the fourth batch. Okay, so.
Okay, to our documentation team, we now summon you to assist us with the photo. Maybe the documentation team?
Okay, so we have someone helping us here.
Okay, let's start with the first batch.
Do you want to start right or left? Right, okay. We'll help with the countings, okay?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile.
Okay, I see the very beautiful person, Bu Penia, right there. Oh my God, in the column. Okay.
Okay, now the second batch.
1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, is that good? Okay, another picture. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Now the third batch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay. The next batch.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile.
Pak Yogi, smile, Pak Yogi.
Okay.
Okay, the
last
last
batch.
batch. I see a lot of students here. Okay.
1, 2, 3, smile. Aruna Shankara.
Okay, I see Okta. Okta, smile, Okta.
Okay, beautiful everyone. And now, to start the Suhadi Reksawardoyo Chemical Engineering Seminar 2025, we will proceed with our first plenary session about building a sustainable energy future.
This session will be officially led by Professor Dr. Ir Yogi Wibisono Budi STMT, one of our dearest professors in chemical engineering, Bandung Institute of Technology, as our moderator. So to Professor Yogi, I invite you to please come up on stage to assist us in leading the first plenary session of today. I hope everyone enjoyed today's session. So
Exactly.
yeah, please give a round of applause for Professor Yogi.
Okay, good morning ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Yogi Wibisono Budi. I am the lecturer, faculty member in Chemical Engineering Department, and I have the honor today of serving as moderator for this plenary session of the Suhadi Reksawardoyo Chemical Process Engineering. On behalf of organizing committee, I warmly welcome all distinguished guests and participants. Today, the plenary session will focus on around innovation in sustainable chemical processes, and also will discuss regarding the energy and also the policy, a topic of great importance as it underpins our transition to net zero industries and also the downstream development of strategic processes. We are highly privileged to have with us keynote speakers who are leading effort in their respective field. Therefore, please allow me to introduce our speaker. Our first speaker, Dr. Engineering Aditya Farhan, is President of Indonesia, President of Director of Indonesia. Yeah, so will be different, yeah, if this is President of Indonesia. President Director of Indonesia Battery Corporation, and will present from mineral to batteries a long journey towards sovereignty. And our second speaker, Dr. Insinyur Retno Gumilang Dewi, Master Environment Engineering Science, is senior lecturer at Department of Chemical Engineering, ITB, and she will speak on policies for sustainable energy. Let's give a warm round of applause as we welcome Dr. Aditya and Dr. Gilang to the stage. Yeah. Please, Bu Gilang. Okay, we will now invite our first speaker, Dr. Engineering Aditya Farhan, to deliver his presentation for around 25 minutes. And then we will continue for the second speaker, Dr. Retno Gumilang Dewi, also for 25 minutes. And then we will have the question and answer after the second presentations. Okay, please, Dr. Aditya Farhan. Yeah, so you can go to the stage.
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, keynote speakers. It's always good to be back here. It's always good to be back to this prestigious hall. And 20-ish years ago, I was part of the committee of the STKSR, so this is quite a how do I put this, quite legendary seminar of the Chemical Engineering of Institute of Technology Bandung. So I'm very honored to open the first session this morning. So my name is Aditya. I'm the President Director of IBC, Indonesia Battery Corporation. We are part of state-owned enterprise under Danantara Sovereign Asset Management. And in today's presentation, I'm going to deliver a topic particularly talking about the journey from the minerals to the battery. It is a long journey, but it is a long journey towards sovereignty. So next slide, please. I would like to begin my presentation with my favorite table, not because I remember everything in it, but I like the concept behind it. So this is to remind us that the world around us is actually composed of the elements in this table. And among the elements listed in this table, there are critical minerals. Critical minerals are the minerals that are considered to be important for one country, for the economy, for the strategic industry. It is so important that the government should give some particular policy to secure the supply, to secure the technology development for the extraction of the minerals. So, well, it is important for one particular country. The point is that. So in this table, we have shades indicating the critical minerals, and the darker shades means there are more countries which consider this element to be critical. So for example, tungsten over there, the W, is more critical than molybdenum. So this is what it means. So each country has its own list of critical minerals, including Indonesia. And they have their own criteria to determine the criticality. But most of the countries agree that the minerals required for EV battery and energy transition are critical. So move on to the next slide. Why EV battery and energy transition? Because this is the new economy. So the key drivers for the, which boost the demand of the critical minerals are this new economy, consisting of the EV battery, energy transition, and one more additional industry sectors, that is artificial intelligence, which requires semiconductors. That's why the US considers the materials, the minerals that are required for the semiconductors to be critical. This is so important, so move on to the next slide. Some people consider that critical minerals are the new oil and gas. So about 20 years ago, when I was a bachelor student at ITB, my professors always told us at that time, you have to pursue a good career. And the good career at that time was oil and gas. And apparently, it is now shifted. Move on to the next slide. So as I mentioned earlier, battery is one of the new economy. It is one of the industrial sectors which boosts the demand of critical minerals. And the battery technology is evolving. We know that the battery consists of anode, cathode, electrolyte, and the separator, and of course, other auxiliary materials like the conductive elements such as copper. But essentially, it is composed of anode and cathode and electrolyte. For the anode, we know that the best anode of lithium-ion battery used to be graphite. And about maybe in 2016 or 2017, when I was working in Japan, I worked on the silicon-based anode. And at that time, it was not familiar yet. But later in 2022 and 2023, I learned that the analyst, the mineral analyst, have already stated that the future of the anode is silicon and carbon composite. That is the material that I developed 8 or 9 years ago. So it is quite rapid. So from the research to the industry, it is quite rapid. So the technology is evolving. But for the cathode, it is quite well settled for now. There are many types of cathode materials that we recognize today, and the two of most popular cathodes are the NMC, nickel, manganese, cobalt, and LFP, the iron phosphate. So NMC cathode, the lithium-ion battery, which uses the NMC cathode, is superior to the LFP in terms of the performance. But from the cost viewpoint, LFP is much, much cheaper. That's why nowadays the EV that rolls around us, they are using LFP cathode. Next slide, please. So we know that the battery chemistry is not only about nickel, it requires many other elements, many other minerals. And particularly for nickel, why Indonesia is focusing on nickel? Nickel-based battery, because we have the resource. In terms of the resource and reserves, Indonesia is #1 in the world. That's why we have the huge potential to influence the global market. And if you can see in this table, at the bottom of this table, the balance of the supply-demand for the nickel is predicted to be deficit by 2029. It means the nickel price will go higher. It is good for mining company. Well, I used to work in Mine ID. Mine ID is the holding company, state-owned holding company for mineral and mining industry in Indonesia. We were happy if the price of the nickel is high. But if the price of the nickel is high, then the NMC cathode price will be also high, and it's not good for the market penetration of the EV battery, particularly which uses the NMC cathode. So it is quite paradoxical. So if we want to develop the end-to-end value chain of the EV battery based on nickel, we need a harmonized policy from end to end. This is very, very difficult in Indonesia. In my experience, it is really difficult. It is still our challenge for now. So we need to develop the end-to-end harmonized policy from mining to the downstream. And in the table on the right side, we can see that battery is not only about nickel, it also requires other elements such as aluminum. And for the aluminum particularly, Indonesia is also leading. We have the sixth largest bauxite reserve in the world. So basically, if we control the export of the bauxite, it will increase the price of the aluminum globally. Same goes with nickel. If the government limit the production of the nickel, then the price of the nickel in the world will go up. So basically, Indonesia has a huge potential to influence the global market in terms of the new energy sector. Next slide, please. So this slide is to explain briefly the journey from nickel to battery. So I just want to focus on nickel in this presentation. So essentially there are two types of nickel, the high-grade one and the low-grade nickel. The high-grade nickel is going to the stainless steel production, while the battery is using the lower-grade nickel. So low-grade nickel used to be considered as waste. So if you go to Pomala, for example, in Sulawesi, you can see a huge amount of limonite nickel. So 10 to 20 years ago, when we produced the ferronickel, the miners only dump the limonite anywhere, and it's not well valorized. But when the technology comes with a high pressurized acid leaching technology, which can process the low-grade ore, then it becomes valuable. So for the EV battery, we use the low-grade ore. The nickel ore is then go to the refining. So we have the hydrometallurgical processing here to process the nickel ore, and the product will be mixed hydroxide precipitate. It is basically nickel and cobalt hydroxide, a mixture of nickel and cobalt hydroxide, because in Indonesia we don't have manganese, which comes together with nickel. And then we further process to produce the nickel sulfate and cobalt sulfate. So from the nickel and cobalt hydroxide, we separate the nickel and cobalt by diluting in the sulfuric acid. So the center picture is the nickel sulfate. And then we try to produce the precursor for the battery using the nickel sulfate and cobalt sulfate. So here comes the NMC precursor. NMC precursor is considered as advanced materials. What is advanced materials? Advanced materials is a class of materials that have been specifically engineered at the atomic level, at the structural level, to attain certain performance, and in order to be able to effectively working for a particular application. So in this case, NMC, a precursor, is engineered in order to be working effectively for the EV battery. So from the NMC precursor, we put lithium, so it's gonna be a lithiated NMC cathode materials, or we can also say CAM, cathode active materials. And this cathode active materials is then coated onto the copper foil and assembled together with the anode and the separator, and that's make it the battery cell. So we pack the battery cell, becomes a battery pack, and we get the battery that we use in everyday's life. So after we use the battery is going to the recycling process. The recycling process generates black mass. We call it black mass. It is basically a mixture of the chemical elements constitute the battery. And then we can further process it to make a new battery, a whole new battery. So Professor Nurak here from Thailand, we had a chit chat previously. He is working on the battery recycling. So it's gonna be interesting to listen to his session later. So move on to the next slide. The left figure is just to give you a brief picture on what constitutes the battery factory. So basically we have the cathode plant, we have the anode plant, and then the battery assembly line. So in the next 5 years, IBC, Indonesia Battery Corporation, is going to develop a 15 gigawatt hour of battery in Indonesia. And we have already do the groundbreaking for the development of the battery cell production in Karawang earlier in June this year, if I'm not mistaken, and President Prabowo was there to do the groundbreaking himself. And we are going to expand the capacity further to 15 gigawatts. And in the right figure, I would like to emphasize that the battery technology is evolving. It is evolving altogether with the needs of the consumer. When the consumer is first experience the battery, they perceive the battery as is. But then as the time's going, new needs are coming. I want the battery that can be fast charged. I want the EV which can travel from Jakarta to Surabaya non-stop, for example. So this kind of needs pull the advancement of the battery technology. So at this point, the battery technology is evolving altogether with the market. Next slide, please. Particularly with the increasing demand for the low-cost battery, the LFP battery population is increasing. In fact, there is more LFP battery in the world now than compared to the NMC battery. The NMC battery is only used by premium cars for now. Why? Because the price of the NMC cathode is still high. So Mercedes-Benz, BMW, they are still using NMC battery. Toyota is still using nickel-based battery, not only NMC, but also nickel metal hydride. The South Korea is still looking for the NMC for the car. But China is dominated, maybe 90% of the car population in China and produced by China are using LFP battery. So what's next? Next slide, please. We are anticipating the emerge of solid-state battery. We believe that in the very near future, we're gonna have a solid-state battery in the market. Solid-state battery is more efficient, is lighter. We can travel further using the solid-state battery, but now the technology is still high, but we can expect that the technology can lower significantly in the very near future, maybe in 1 or 2 years. And with the new battery is coming, then the new materials are required. So we need to be able to prepare the new materials that are required for any technology that will come to the market. Like for example, solid-state battery can still use NMC cathode. Solid-state battery can still use LFP cathode. But there are also some battery developers who use other types of materials. One of them use titanium-based cathode. In Indonesia, we don't have titanium as a primary resource, but we have titanium as a secondary resource. From tin mining, we can get many associated minerals: monazite, ilmenite, zircon sands, silica sands. From monazite, we can get the rare earth element, and also thorium and uranium. From the ilmenite is FeTiO3, so there's titanium in it. But we need to be able to extract the titanium from ilmenite. And now, ilmenite is still considered as waste. So in order to be able to valorize this waste, we need not only the technology is actually there, China has been doing this all the time, but we also need the policy to support the byproduct, the mining byproduct valorization. Because the mining byproduct is considered as hazardous, so it's more complicated to be able to extract the critical raw materials from the byproduct at industrial scale. And as I mentioned earlier, next slide please, we need to be able to prepare whatever technology that comes to the market. We need to be able to prepare to produce the materials, and the materials are categorized as advanced materials, as I mentioned in my previous. If you are able to build oil refinery, it is much more complicated than building a factory which produces nanostructured carbon, for example. So, but I want to emphasize that we need to master the technology, the processing method. And the processing method is there are only several processing methods for producing advanced materials. Gas phase, liquid phase. Gas phase, we have the plasma process, or CVD, chemical vapor deposition. For the liquid phase, we have the sol gel, we have the hydrothermal, we have aerosol process. Only several processes are available for producing advanced materials. And once we have the production line to produce advanced materials using one of these methods, then we will be able to produce any types of advanced materials, basically. But we need to understand how to use it. We need to understand how to engineer at the atomic level. So that is the most important thing. And this is what we believe in IBC. So next slide, please. That's why, next slide, please. In the very near future, we are going to expand the position of IBC, not only producing battery, but also producing advanced materials. Why? Because we have the DNA. We are capable to produce NMC cathode, NMC materials. So why not producing other types of advanced materials? So that's our idea. And IBC, in the next 5 years, as one of our missions, we are going to establish a center of excellence as well. So the right figure is showing you the ecosystem that we are making. And the next slide, please. And we have billion-dollar projects here. We are producing the battery downstream ecosystem in the next 5 years. So next year, we are going to develop the battery materials plant in Karawang. And now we are building the battery cells production in Karawang as well. And then in 2029, we are going to develop the battery recycling facility. Next slide, please. And this is to give you a figure on the battery cell factory that we are currently building in Karawang. We expect to operate commercially next year. Next slide, please. This is so important. Building downstream industry is very, very challenging. Why? Because in the downstream, the bargaining power of buyer is very high. Consumers are the king. So if the producers don't innovate, then we will not be able to survive. While at the same time, the producers are faced with high capex and very low profit margin. But if we are looking at the bigger context, the downstream development generates more revenue to the country. So that's why I said that this is a long journey towards sovereignty. There are many, many challenges. We need to innovate, but this is for the good of the country. Next slide, please. And this is to give you a figure. If we want to be a global scale battery player, there are CATL, for example, BYD, LG. Please take a look at the number of patents that they have. And in CATL, they have 500 PhDs working at CATL. And what about IBC? How many PhD do we have? Just myself. So if you're a student, if you're still students, I encourage you to continue your study up to PhD and return back to industry. Apologize, professors, Bapak Ibu dosen, but we do really need more PhD working on the industry, because the industry, the future is in an industry landscape is different. We need more technological people working on the industry. So I encourage you to do that. So to conclude my presentation, Next slide. By advancing the mineral downstream and battery value chain, we unlock not only economic value, but also we develop the foundation for a sustainable future and nation sovereignty. So thank you very much for your kind attention. And if there's any question, we can talk later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Aditya, for your nice and insightful presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very sorry because I have to leave my position as moderator because the Ministry of Science, Higher Education, Science and Technology asked me to join the meeting. So I would like to invite Professor Sanggono to take over my position. Okay, I'm very sorry. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, para hadirin sekalian, so we will continue with the next presentation from Dr. Retno Gumilang Dewi. Please welcome Ibu Retno. Just go ahead. The biodata will be delivered through the system. Yeah, just go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi Bapak Ibu sekalian. Good morning everybody. And I would like to discuss about policy for sustainable energy. Next please. Yeah. Next please. Yeah. As I in the previous time, I think almost 2 years, we prepare for national energy policy. And just signed by the President in 15 September on 2025. I would like to share with you what is the national energy policy and what is the role of this policy in sustainable energy. We discuss more about energy security, energy transition, and self-sufficiency, and GHG emission, high economic growth, increased share of new and renewable energy, long-term strategy, and low carbon and carbon resilience. And national energy policy, we called so-called this Kebijakan Energi Nasional or CAN, and net zero emission 2060, reducing dependency on oil and gas, as well as phasing down fossil, and the last is Paris Agreement. This is the issue what we discuss in national energy policy to prepare for sustainable energy in the future. Next, please. And yeah, I would like to discuss 4 issues. First is the background related to high energy economic, high economic development, high economic growth because of we know that is the government now set the target for the high economic growth. And what is the implication for high energy demand, fossil primary supply, and also energy security and self-sufficiency, and the climate change. And what is insight for the national energy policy? Because of we discussed about the energy transition towards to net zero emission 2060. And what is the challenging in achieving self-sufficiency of energy supply in 2029 and also towards 2060. And the last we discuss about sustainable energy system. Next please. Yeah. Oh. Can I use this? Yeah. And the new government just released that is want to increase economic growth, high target 8% in 2029 is seems like amazing for us because of currently our economic growth is GDP growth is not more than 5%, and to achieve development country status and escape from middle income trap because of we don't want to left behind the Vietnam, I think, because of Vietnam eager to early to escape from middle income trap. While at the moment still prioritize energy security, self-sufficiency, as well as remains committed to the Paris Agreement. Yeah, we know that there's a high economic growth target will be achieved by first increasing secondary industry development. We know that is our previously presenter discussed about the one of the nickel is one of the downstream of the critical mineral. And downstreaming resource extraction industry like agro-based palm oil, critical minerals, nickel, lithium, petro-based chemical, and also iron and steel industries. And tertiary industry development, increasing household consumption and service sector. This is the target by Bappenas, where the structure of the economic can support the increasing of GDP growth until 8% in 2029. We know that is first manufacturing industry, construction, and also we have to increase consumption in the community and consumption in the government spending, and also investment and export. This will increase our 8% immediately. But this is theoretical. We do not know what happened in the future. But I would like to discuss about the challenge associated with high economic. If high economic growth is achieved, the target, and then the implication is, of course, energy demand increase significantly. And also maybe will affect the Paris Agreement commitment because of we have commitment enhanced NDC, second NDC, and the next cycle of NDC until 2060. And increasing energy demand, especially electricity, and also the associated emission, greenhouse gas emission from power. This is include standard issues, and also industry, that is a sector that hard to be abated. And the last is transportation, because of transportation related to air pollution in the urban area as well as transport system. And the last is energy security issues for youth community. We have population is almost more than 360 million in 2060. And we cannot neglect that is with high economic and trend to become modern society, and then our society will dependence to electricity. And then power sector maybe become the important sector. Current national plan and maybe cost backsliding. Backsliding means because of the target of Indonesia have the peak emission is 2030, but if the backsliding may be moved to 2037. And as we know, that is why we do we need decarbonization, because of if we just follow the developed countries, and then our emission will still increase the same like the pathway of developed countries. Even developed countries have a peak in 2005, and then we know that is if we just follow the high fossil technology lock-in type development, and then we will not achieve 2050 for the net zero emission. Why net zero emission? Because of we can see that there's a sorry, this cannot work here. In line with the Paris Agreement, it means below 2 degree, preference is 1.5 degree. We have to keep our net zero emission the whole countries, I think, in 2050, and then keep it until 2100. It means we can compatible with the Paris Agreement. And what is the role of Indonesia? This one is we have an enhanced NDC target 2030, reducing below our baseline in 2030. almost 31.9%, and also 43.2%. And we know that is the biggest is energy sector because of after 2030, energy become the biggest source of emission. And the left, because of in the right side, LTS LCCR for the net zero emission 2060 or sooner. This is the target for Indonesia. Net zero not means energy sector become zero, but net zero with the forestry. This is offset with the forestry. And this is the step by the government, how we commit with the Paris Agreement, start from 2015, and we ratify by law, and also the last that we prepare now, second NDC, will be submitted in the next COP. And what is the important emission in net zero emission target? This is the projection. We see that the left side is if our target is current policy, and then the if we have a high target, and then the right side is a higher target with the 8% in 2029. And I think energy sector will be the biggest side, the biggest share of emission. And this is faster economic growth, higher energy demand and supply challenges. Downstreaming mineral industry will increase energy demand, especially electricity, and then more electrical equipment and energy storage produced and utilized. Secondly, high industrial development will also increase demand for transport, which is dominated by oil fuel, and we know that is an import of oil now, more than 50% for the final product, and also for the crude oil, also we depend on the import. High economic growth will result in change of lifestyle because of people will become a modern society, and that will lead to increase the electricity demand and also transportation demand. Fulfillment of increasing energy demand for high economic growth, huge population, and aiming for modern society, I think this is we need more resource because of domestic resource is not unlimited. Therefore, in discussion for energy, sustainable energy in the future, we have to open our mind from where that is energy can be supplied for Indonesia. Higher energy demand, more challenges to achieve Paris Agreement commitment. First, high economic energy demand, and will also become challenging in achieving Paris Agreement commitment. And secondly, Indonesia face difficult situation deciding a transition, which type of energy can be used as a source for energy, and also how to early phasing down dependent for fossil energy. Deep decarbonization is needed in all priority sector, where power is the biggest main priority, followed by industry as well as by transport. And we can see that is the new national energy policy and its implication to GHG emission development because of under the government regulation number 40, 2025, providing direction for achieving energy security in energy transition. We call energy security, it's not the same with the energy self-sufficiency. And the key issues, features of CAN is first, significant increase of energy demand in industry, power, and transport. And that will be supplied by new energy. I think we just discussed about DMA, one of these sources, and also depending to battery because of renewable energy will also expected increase until 70% of primary energy supply in 2060, while the remaining fossil energy in power and industry will be equipped by CCS or CCUS. And With this situation, I think remaining GHG from energy sector will keep around 129. But in the power sector, we can see that the target is zero emission ton CO2 per megawatt hour in 2060. Is it possible that we still can decarbonize the power sector and also for the light industries to keep our GDP increase significantly? But I think we can see that this is the scenario for business as usual in 2010 until 2060, and we can see that the target for the national, the peak emission is 2030. The peak emission is important because of how we can diminishing the level of emission until 2060. This is the important pathway. And the right side, I think this is the business as usual. This is the pattern for energy-related CO2 emission, and we can see that is a light industry and also power is also. This is the important that we can decarbonize for our emission. And the power sector, the target also implement biomass energy and CCS or negative emission, because of with that the power sector can achieve net zero emission, not net, in 2060. This is our national energy policy, final energy demand. We can see that this final energy demand still rely on fossil until 2030 and I think 2040. But the remaining for fossil can still use, but equipped with the CCS as I mentioned before. Transport sector still high, but tend to declining as well because of the nature of the facility of the transport. I think public transport, increasing public transport, and also efficiency in public transport. But the transport sector start to rely on electricity because of we can see that the next is this is transport sector, and we can see that oil, even is not much but still there, and we can see that transport also important to reduce the emission. And focus decarbonization of power generation. In primary, renewable energy is about 70% until 72%, the target in 2060, and in the power sector increase until almost 90%. And we can see that in 2030, the roles of fossil still high, and until 2040, if we see that under our new power planning, like in RUKN as well as RUPTL. RUPTL is planning for power business, is still until 2037 we still rely on fossil. This is the graph how power sector can achieve zero emission. First is implement CCS, biomass energy, and CCS also will produce the negative emission technology. And also in power generation, we can see that captive become smaller compared to industry rely on electricity to PLN. And the effect is the power generation itself in 2060, but it will become net zero. Yeah. And when we are talking about the CCS and CCUS, because of the Ibu present that is about DMA, and how much the storage will needed because of, I think, under the industry, there is a natural gas with the CCS, co-firing biomass, and also co-firing biomass, co-firing with CCS. It will need totally more than 2043. This is accumulation, and ton CO2 can be captured. And this is the pattern of the emission CO2 that is captured in the CCS. And challenging in achieving self-sufficiency or swasembada energy of energy supply in 2029. First, although national energy policy already has covered concern about energy security in the short term, the target swasembada has not been included in national energy policy. There are several approaches and associated policies that are considered, particularly in attempt to reduce of oil fuel and LPG import. One of these, I think DMA is important as well. And we can see that is what is the current status of national energy security. Yeah, because of we know that is a national energy security index in Indonesia can achieve 6.64. It means still resilience. And why we still resilience? Because of the right side dependence of energy, particularly for oil import, for the availability, it's very low index. Accessibility, I think natural gas and LPG supply and services also low, and acceptability, energy intensity, and also affordability, energy price because of disparity, direct and also subsidy to price. This is still disparity. That's why the index is also low. That's why in total, we still in the position is resilience. And how about natural gas? Because of natural gas is good for transition. We know there is natural gas production, the peak production in 2030. After 2030 will decline. And then if there is no new discovery, I think the production also decline until 2050. And we see that there's the gas resource itself and cumulative demand by 2060. If we compare with the cumulative demand by national energy policy, I think still sufficient for the potential future discovery because of the total, the brown one and also the yellow one, and Indonesia gas resource totally in the blue one, 332 TCF, and then if cumulative, we only need 170 if low growth economic, and also if the high economic, we can increase until 139. And how about the oil? Yeah, this is the condition. Our refinery is already old, I think, and then we would like to increase the capacity for the refinery because of reducing import in 2030 is the target. But we have to realize our demand for oil is become declining because of people tend to move to another source of energy, electricity, hydrogen, and also the biofuel. That's why increasing refinery, we have to be careful because of existing refinery maybe can facing down because of it's already old. But the new one, the green one, refinery for the RDMP and also refinery for PRPP, maybe can meet our demand. And yeah, this is the priority for decarbonization of energy sector, expansion for energy supply and also energy transition. First, address both energy and security and also climate mitigation requirement. And deep cut, one of the way is CCS or CCUS. And also implementing early for renewable energy as well as new energy. And I heard the government already signed for nuclear power plant, the NEPIO. It means in the shortened time, we will have nuclear power, the first nuclear power, I think 2032. And demand side measures, especially for energy efficiency in industry, also important to decarbonize in this sector as well as in the transport sector. Justice in the decarbonization, because of many support from international, have many requirements. And I think we have to increase our understanding about the support from international. For example, like a JETP, we thought geodeveloping economic development because of the entirely retirement of coal fleets will risk economic displacement. First, penalty for the power plant, and secondly, stranded assets not only in the power plant, but also stranded assets in the mining sector. And how about the local government that is rely on the income from coal or from gas? And the next is about futuring decarbonization effort and assessment. First, demand side measures, efficiency, of course, and also use low carbon technology, low carbon energy. And second, we have to remember that is the next, after enhanced NDC, we still have second NDC and also the next cycle of NDC until 2060 that become net zero emission. Deep decarbonization is required. Roadmap implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. First is we have to develop a clear roadmap in the technical level, and also socialization the program so that the stakeholders can buy in our idea. Secondly, quantified potential and impact assessment using model-based scenario assessment. Now we still using our improvement our model and to make a pathway that is optimized in decarbonization. And the third is policy and regulation, indirect enablers, energy efficiency improvement, and also renewable energy development incentive. We don't want to use subsidy in this term because of a subsidy is not good, but incentive is better. Incentive for the clean and sustainable energy is have to encourage. And financing scheme, Indonesia Sovereign Wealth Funds, for example, like a Danantara, Public Environment Fund, like a BPDLH, and also other source like international support can tie with tax redistribution, small, medium enterprise finance with sustainable budget tagging, and also international support. Stakeholder engagement for monitoring and evaluation process is also important. This is all that I presentation about the national energy policy to achieve the sustainable energy development in the future.
Okay. Thank you, Bu Retno. We give applause. Now it is the time to have a discussion with Dr. Aditya Farhan Arif, President Director of the Indonesia Battery Corporation, and with Dr. Retno Gumilang Dewi, the Special Assistant for the President of the Republic of Indonesia on Energy. we would like to invite questions from, we have 4 partition over here. Let's start from the left, from the center, and from the right-hand side over there. If you have any questions, please identify yourself and then the direction of the question, whether to Pak Aditya or into Ibu Retno. Okay, please, if you have any questions. Okay, we have one over here. We have one over here. We have one. Okay, let's start with the 3 questions. First, please just stand up and get the microphone. All right. Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to ask something here. I would like to direct my question to Mr. Aditya Farhan. Let me introduce myself. I'm Andiva Rizky, a professional in Jayapura. My question for today is about the direction of MindID in regards to new and emerging technologies in battery storage and manufacturing. For example, we have news that hydrogen-based batteries and nuclear-based batteries are currently being developed in other countries. So I would like to ask about MindID's perspective in that. And also, while we're at it, I would like to ask also about the fundamental low-capacity batteries. For example, AAA batteries, AA batteries, nickel metal hydrides, for example, and then for smartphones and for laptops and for power banks. I would like to ask MindID about its consideration in the B2B business. For example, are we going to be a competitor in that field, or are we going to supply to the companies in that field? For example, if I may name names, for example, Duracell, or maybe Energizer, or maybe ABC, or something like that. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. The next question, please.
Thank you. My name is Sri Penny Inten Cahyani. I'm the chairman of the BKK PII. My question is toward to Pak Aditya from MindID IBC. What is your opinion regarding with this issue? And we understand that nickel, Indonesia have abundant nickel, and we understand also that the technology of the battery, it is very, fast technology driven. But we also understand that Indonesia have a big market for the electric vehicle. So what is your opinion? It is good to Indonesia still strict to develop nickel base for the battery, or to follow the technology updating for the battery? That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bu Sri Penny. The next one, please. Yeah.
Yes, good morning. My name is Nurakistan Nurak from Thailand. Well, actually, I would like to appreciate for your presentation. It's very informative comparing to our country. So we don't have the recycling battery plant yet in Thailand, but soon later. So my quick question is going to ask you 3 things. One is how many recycling battery plants in Indonesia right now, and do you have any project in the near future? And what would be the capacity for that battery recycling plant? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, Pak Aditya, please deliver the response.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. For the first question, actually, I'm not. I cannot say on behalf of MindID anymore, but the long-term planning of MindID is created by me, so I can give you a quite proper answer to your question. So MindID perspective on the new technology, on the battery, particularly in nuclear battery and hydrogen. Well, for the nuclear, we don't see that in the very near future it's going to be implemented in the market for the battery, but MindID is very, very supportive for nuclear energy. In fact, we have monazite, as I mentioned earlier. Monazite is coming from the tin byproduct, and we are trying to extract the thorium and uranium from the monazite and convert it into the fuel for the nuclear. But the value chain for the nuclear fuel is very, very long, and it's very political. So on the other hand, MindID group requires a lot of energy for the next 5 years, approximately 5.9 gigawatt. So on the one hand, we have the resource. On the other hand, we have the demand. So we want to push the demand first. We are promoting the utilization of nuclear energy in the whole MindID group. That's what can I say. For the smaller batteries, we don't have any plan to go towards that direction, because there's already the players, and we have the association for the battery producers in Indonesia. We are a good friend with ABC and other battery manufacturers, so we're not going towards that direction. We focus on the EV battery and ESS, energy storage system. And for the next question from Ibu Inten, yes, we have a big market for EV. We need to prepare the strategy very carefully on this. I agree that it is very possible for us to create the whole value chain until the vehicle in Indonesia, but until now, Indonesia doesn't have the national electric vehicle manufacturer, but we can invite the car manufacturers from anywhere else in the world to Indonesia and gives incentive to use the NMC battery. That is one of the options, and we are advocating this to the government actually. But as a battery company, I could say that IBC is not, IBC is agnostic actually. So yes, our primary mandate is to do the downstream of nickel, but with the emerging demand of LFP, actually we are creating, we are making the LFP battery as well, actually. And we believe that the NMC nickel-based battery still has a huge prospect, not only in Indonesia, but also in other countries, like for example in the US. The driving behavior of US is quite different from that in China or in the rest of the world actually. So US people, they tend to, it's like Indonesia, they travel a lot using the car, so they need a very long driving range. So this is a huge potential market for the nickel battery from Indonesia, for the NMC. And we are targeting that market together with our partner from CATL. And for the other types of battery, we believe that the solid-state battery will still use nickel. We are working together with the technology owner for the solid-state battery, and we believe that in the very near future, the nickel battery can also be used in a solid-state battery. And our facility, our battery materials production facility, can still be able to supply the electrodes even to the solid-state battery. So I think we have quite resilient strategy here, but it depends. I mean, if the question is whether we want to develop the EV itself in Indonesia, I think that's the government to ask. So it's not our part in this particular discussion, but our role is to build the resilient business so that our nickel can sustain, and IBC can also play important role in the world, not only for the nickel battery, but also other types of battery. That's our view, Bu Inten. And for the next question from Professor Nurak, yes, we have Indonesia has a recycling facility, the one in Morowali, Professor Nurak. So it is owned by China. So I don't have a deep visibility on this facility, but to the best of my knowledge, the technology is not really sophisticated yet. So it's not generating the black mass, if I'm not mistaken. But IBC in the very near future, we are going to develop the recycling facility as well, together with our partner from China, from CATL, and also from with our partner from Huayo, probably. So there will be 2 recycling facilities underway. But we haven't decided the capacity yet, because recycling is really depending on the policy. We need to be able to collect the battery. You know very well that one facility can only do the recycle for one types of battery, right? So the policy should be very well settled for that. Thank you, Pak Sangano.
Okay, thank you, Pak Aditya. So basically, IPC will cover in the upstream part of the industry, but will make joint ventures also, or joint activity with other companies. Okay, thank you. We would like to invite other questions to the presenters today. We have 1, 2, and then 3, and 4. Okay. Okay, please just go ahead. Please identify yourself and then the question direction.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Chandra from ITV. So to Bugelang, regarding the government regulation number 40/2025. So that one is the addressing the energy, national energy policy. We understood that the last energy policy, we may say it is failed. We cannot achieve that. So how we make sure that the new government regulation ensure that we can achieve this target, and what mechanism ensure the accountability this time? So that one is my question. And to Pak Adit, that you are mentioning about the advances of technologies, and to see the pattern, so all is belong to the other countries. So that what the IBC will go to escape from we are dependent to the other countries. Thank you.
Okay. Next, the second questions. Please stand up. Okay, go ahead.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much for your great presentation and good insight. And first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Oki Adipurnomo. I'm chemical engineering 2011. And currently, I'm a practitioner in oil and gas industry in Pertamina. And my question is directed to Bugelang. Based on your presentation, to achieve the net zero emission in 2060, I see that there is a big portion in energy sector, right? And this is the dominant portion for achieving net zero emission. And this is related to our responsibility right now as a practitioner in oil and gas industry. Do you have any like a benchmarking in the refinery outside or in outside Indonesia? What is the quickest way or quick win to achieve the net zero emission target? And is it still on the track for right now to achieve the target net zero emission in 2060? Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. And then next is the third questions. Please stand up, Iman. Okay.
Thank you, Pak Sanggono. I just wonder to Bugelang, about your slide. I don't remember exactly the number, but in case of biofuel, it will be increased. After that, it's decreasing. So I want to know what kind of scenario you use, because I think Indonesia is very potential with biofuel. Why it's decreasing in the last terms? Okay, thank you.
Okay, it's about the biofuel. Okay, the last question. Go ahead.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Dimas Ramadan. Previously, I worked in Kilang Pertamina International, and now I am a researcher in Pertamina Persero, research and development. My question may be a bit similar to what Mas Oki had been said to Bu Gilang. So, as the biggest energy provider in Indonesia, Pertamina, especially Kilang, had already developed several projects to enhance the biofuel adoption. However, we kind of in limbo between should we go with this project or not, because when we committed to one project, while the environment, the community is not yet ready to accept the new fuel, for example, HVO, then it will be considered as a typical, because there is a project, but it's not continuous. So my question is, what will be different in this government policy for the next 5 or 10 years, so that we are not ready only from the supply side, but also the demand side? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Okay, I would like to give the opportunity for the presenters, Bu Gilang or Pak Aditya. Bu Gilang first. Oh, Pak Aditya first, monggo.
Okay, thank you, Professor Chandra. That is a very, very interesting question, and it is difficult to answer actually. But how to escape from China or our other technological partners? The first thing that I did once I assumed the office at IBC is I created a new roadmap for IBC involving the scientists and professors from Indonesia, like not only from ITB but also from UNS. So, and also we work together with the Chief of Technology Officer of Danantara, the Office of CTO. So we created, we want the IBC is the technology-based industry, not only just a joint, not only just an investment holding company. That's the first thing that we do. And the second one is I developed a complete knowledge management system. So under IBC, we have several JVs, joint ventures with our partners. And we have the Director of Human Capital in that JV. The Director of Human Capital, the main task is to develop the knowledge management system to ensure that the know-how is well documented. I think the know-how is very important because, well, in order to make battery, I can make the battery myself, but at the lab scale. But at the industrial scale, the most important thing is the know-how. So we need to learn the know-hows from our partner. And then after that, through our Center of Excellence, we want to use that know-how to develop new intellectual properties, the secondary IPs that belongs to Indonesia. So that is our plan so far, and we are very, very open if you have any other suggestions that will be more effective. But I personally want this to be my legacy for Indonesia. Indonesia has to have our own technology in the battery and the mineral downstream processing. That's my answer, Pak Chandra. Thank you.
Okay, so the important point is we need to have the intellectual property rights with the battery system, yeah. Okay, thank you. Next, Ibu Gilang.
Okay, thank you. I think I will answer Pak Chandra in the last part. The first, I would like to answer Pak Iman and also from Pertamina. Yes, when we discuss about the behavior of the people itself, yeah, it tend to that the people would like to change the mindset and lifestyle. For example, like at home, increase electricity, and also in transport. And it's not in our expectation because of EV can so fast like today because of in the country of the EV car as well there is a subsidy, and also in our country also subsidy. There are double subsidy, and then people tend to move to use EV. And I also discussed with the Pertamina Institute last time about this refinery, why refinery seems like the demand of oil declining very fast and almost 1/3 in 2060. Yeah, because of different like national energy policy in the previous time, because of all energy supply determined by the government, and also the demand also determined by the government. How the government provide the energy, it's just received by the population, the community. But no, not like this, because of there are many competition in, for example, like in the car, there are EV car, and also IC engine, still IC engine. But in the future, not only EV and IC, but also hydrogen. Yeah, maybe hydrogen also speed up, and also hybrid as well, so that the demand of oil will decline. And naturally, it's not because of the government not provide the oil itself. And we discussed almost 6 months with the Pertamina Institute because of they worry about the future national energy policy, why oil is declining. And I show as well the age of refinery, because of most of our refinery is too old. And I think in 2060, all our existing refinery will be more than 100 years. Yeah, it's correct. Yeah, except RDMP. Yeah, RDMP and as well another. That's why we have to worry about increasing capacity of refinery, because of why Pertamina not move to renewable, because of Pertamina would like to sustainable company. And I saw in the RGPP of Pertamina, even in 2034, they will produce much also renewable energy, not only in biofuel, but also nuclear power plant, and as well in develop PV and also other renewable. And there is one business unit that is talk about sustainable. I think there is one division under Pak. Yeah, there is new unit in Pertamina, sustainability. Yeah, sustainability. And I think there is a planning that is Pertamina would like to move forward to sustainable energy, not rely only in fossil. Yeah. And even there is also unit business for CCS and CCUS, and then for change the business activity from Pertamina to become not producing but store something in the field. Yeah. This is the concept for sustainability. Yeah. And Pak Iman, because of oil declining and biofuel is not independent use in the car, I think it's decline following the declining of oil demand because of only 30%, 40%, and our model is maximum 50% B50 in biofuel, biodiesel, and also in bioethanol and bioafter as well. This is all the complete that why biofuel is declined. Yeah. And for Pak Chandra, yes, I understand there are many complaints about the first our national energy policy, 2014, I think. The target of renewable is ambitious, 25% and 20-30% is 2025. It's not achievable now because of not more than 15%, I think, renewable in the primary supply. And how the government speed up to increase the renewable? First, increase the biofuel. Why ASDM now increase the target of biofuel, not B30, because of before the roadmap is B30, but now become B40 earlier. And also speed up for the bioethanol. This is for increasing renewable. Secondly, the government would like also to develop nuclear power plant. Yeah, as earlier, I think in 2032, I saw in the roadmap of PLN, RUPTL, they prepare for this. And also the contract as well, it's already started, and the president already signed for the NEPIO. After we have a NEPIO, and then we can develop the nuclear power plant. And this is how the government can achieve for the target of renewable energy. But from where? And investment is important. As I mentioned before, we have to be careful support from international, particularly that there are many requirements so that we cannot develop without jeopardizing our economic development. For example, like a JETP. We have to pay for the penalty, we have to pay for the new renewable energy, and then we have to phasing out our power plant that is a stranded asset. That's why we have to have another source for investment. One is Danantara. Danantara is one our sovereign wealth fare for Indonesia. Even it's not high as Singapore or Uni Emirat, but still can use for first is developing for geothermal, for renewable energy, and now I think for the battery. Yeah, this is the way that how the government fulfill the target for the national energy policy. But in the future, yeah, as I'm Ibu Inten, yeah, Ibu Inten or Ibu Penny, yeah, because of she also promoting DMA as DMA is not cheap as LPG if produced in Indonesia, but compared to import, I think it's still comparable. And this is good because of we can still use our coal, even the coal, low-rank coal, to fulfill the demand of energy in household sector. Because of depending to LPG, it's too huge now, and we have to find another way. First, government want to introduce electricity in the household, but it's rather difficult because of the existing infrastructure now is using LPG in the household. That's why DMA is 20% at least. It's good for support in the short term. But for the long term, I think after we have a new renewable energy, the share is increased. I think the target for national energy policy can be achieved, Pak Chandra. Yeah. Because of we have to remember that it's not only for climate change. Because of we have to secure our energy supply as well as for the swasembada energy, but we cannot neglect. We have a commitment to Paris Agreement. This is the 3 types of target of the new government. Is difficult for the short term, but good for the long term.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Retno, for the insights of the way forward to the sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of the discussion session. Please give an applause to the keynote speakers today. Thank you.
Check. Okay, thank you so much, Pak Sanggono and all speakers for the very knowledgeable session about building a sustainable energy future. Hopefully, that plenary has enlightened us and given everyone some fresh perspective.
Did you gain a new perspective?
I did. How about you?
Yes, I did, definitely did. As a student myself, I absolutely did. Okay, we will now dedicate an extension of our warm gratitudes to our speakers and moderators through certificates. So we invite Professor Tirto as the Dean of Faculty of Industrial Technology to join us on stage. Yes, Pak Tirto. And officially award the certificates to our speakers and moderators. Please give a round of applause.
Okay. Once again, we would like to thank all speakers and moderators in the first plenary session for the precious and insightful knowledge today. Hopefully, us students within the chemical engineering field could learn a little more something today.
Okay, before we proceed to our next agenda, I have an information that there is a schedule change for today's parallel session. So the session for the separation process, which is initially held in room SP04, is moved to SP05, and the time is shifted to 2 p.m. from initially 11 a.m. And then the session for Kurita awardee is moved from room KU01 to KU05 and is moved to 11 a.m. this morning. Once again, the separation process session is moved from SP04 to SP05 and is shifted to 2 p.m. from initially 11 a.m. And then the Kurita awardee session is moved from KU01 to KU05 and is moved to 11 a.m. this morning. Thank you and so sorry for the inconvenience.
Also, for those who have not submitted your presentation files, please do upload your file to the Google Drive or send it to the room operator before the session begins. And finally, after the first plenary session, I wonder how's everyone doing? Not too sleepy yet, right? But don't worry, we'll have a short 15-minute coffee break to recharge our energy.
Yes, okay, so please to all participants, you can come back here at approximately 12 p.m. and have a pleasant coffee break. Thank you.
850 Masehi merupakan masa di mana Indonesia membuktikan kecerdasannya melalui karya agung nenek moyang dalam wujud Candi Prambanan. Menjadi salah satu situs warisan dunia berdasarkan UNESCO, candi ini merupakan lambang kerja keras, kecerdasan, dan anugerah yang Maha Esa atas diri nenek moyang yang patut dibanggakan oleh seluruh generasi masa kini dan masa yang akan datang. Berbekal tekad untuk mewarisi semangat berkarya nenek moyang, PT Zeus Kimia Tama Indonesia dilahirkan. Berawal di tahun 1998 di sebuah rumah kecil di Bekasi, mimpi Zekindo untuk membangun industri kimia di Indonesia dimulai. Pada tahun 2005, blending plant pertama mulai beroperasi di kawasan industri Greenland Delta Mas Cikarang Pusat. 1 tahun kemudian, didirikanlah PT Acme Indonesia, anak perusahaan pertama PT Zeus Kimia Tama Indonesia. Dalam mengikuti perkembangan bisnis, pada tahun 2014, PT Zeus Kimia Tama Indonesia memulai aktivitas produksi pada pabrik 1 di kawasan industri Lipo Cikarang. Pada tahun 2016, kantor pemasaran grup PT Zeus Kimia Tama Indonesia mulai beroperasi. Pada tahun 2020, didirikanlah PT Power Indo Kimia Mineral. Pada tahun 2022, pabrik 2 mulai beroperasi di kawasan industri Kota Bukit Indah, Purwakarta. Pada tahun 2023, PT Zeus Kimia Tama Indonesia melakukan proses pemindahan pabrik 1 ke main plant Jababeka. Berawal dari pabrik kecil di tahun 1998 dan berbekal pengalaman lebih dari 25 tahun, PT Zeus Kimia Tama Indonesia sebagai perusahaan manufaktur bahan kimia khusus secara konsisten hadir untuk melayani konsumen dengan pelayanan terbaik. Hingga kini, kami terus mengembangkan produk berkualitas tinggi yang mampu berkompetisi di kancah internasional dan mendukung pelanggan kami di Indonesia, kawasan ASEAN, dan berbagai negara lainnya dalam bidang pengolahan air dan limbah, minyak dan gas, gula dan bioetanol, enzim, tekstil, otomotif, cat dan pelapisan, serta aplikasi pertambangan dan pengolahan mineral. Tidak hanya mengedepankan produk dengan kualitas tinggi, pembangunan berkelanjutan juga menjadi aspek penting bagi kami. Melahirkan generasi muda yang kompeten dan berdaya saing menjadi prioritas kami. Untuk itu, kami turut melibatkan generasi muda Indonesia dalam kolaborasi penelitian produk serta program beasiswa bagi pelajar berprestasi. Kami berkontribusi untuk mewujudkan green industry melalui program pengolahan limbah berbasis biologis serta peningkatan kualitas udara berbasis green algae. Kami berkomitmen untuk menciptakan lingkungan.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, we have another spot for coffee break on the east side of the